Hi, I'm James Frazier, CEO of Squared Away, and here's your Squared Away tip of the day. We're going to talk about value, the value of something, what something is worth. And we're going to talk about values, what a person's or a company's core values are. Then we're going to talk about true self-worth. So let's go to value, the worth of something. The worth of something is typically put on by what other people would demand or be willing to pay for it. And so many times value can be quite a variable and very difficult to predict. But when you look at a business, the core values of that business will directly impact the ultimate value of that company, because the core values of the company will change the culture, and the improved culture will improve the value of your company. And so let's talk about values. What are values? And we live in a world where there's a lot of softness today. There's a lot of gray area. And values, it can't be a value if it's flexible. A value is only something that is rigid and ironclad, and at all costs you hold to those values. And so you look at like the Navy SEALs, for example. The Navy SEALs have courage, honor, and placing value at all costs on human life. They're a very high performing group, and if you took an average Navy SEAL, they would probably be at the top performers in just about any sector of our society. I want to think about that, about values. Personal values create the corporate value of your company. And so as business owners, as executives, we are the ones that actually set what the values of our company are. Part of the problem that we face in our society today is a lot of people do not have values at all. They have signposts, they have things that are very flexible and gray and can be manipulated from one thing to the next based upon the circumstance. And one of the values that I want to talk about is honor. Honor comes from a Hebrew word that means weighty, to give weight to another. And so if you honor someone, you're giving weight and value to their life. And I think that this is something that in business has really fallen apart and we've fallen away from. It is not only the value of our customers, but it's the value of the people who are part of our company, who are employed there. The value, and bringing value to them by honoring them and the job that they do for us. So I want to take this one step further. We're in a society today where self-worth seems to be tied to things that are quite fragile. And I hear people all the time saying that my self-worth is tied to my job, or it's tied to my net worth, or it's tied to my income or my education. The problem with all of that, it's all fragile. It's all something that you as a person can't control. And so you could be the greatest athlete and you get in a car accident and now you're not. If your entire value was based upon something that's fragile, that you have no control over, then your self-worth is also fragile and can completely disappear. So I want to talk about a question. What's a simple way, how would you measure your true self-worth? What does that come down to? And I have a theory that it's really simple. I think it comes down to this. An individual's self-worth is the sum total of the trust that everyone who depends on them has in them. It's kind of a hard lesson, a hard thing to think about, because it requires some self-analysis. And I think that this is for business owners to think about. Do your employees trust you? Can they trust you? And so what is your self-worth if the people who depend on you don't trust you, can't trust you? Because when things are tough, you don't step up. And I think if we're looking for employees to have that kind of a relationship within the organization, the employees have to be able to trust managers. They have to be able to trust management system and ownership. I think if we're going to have an overall culture change, then we have to focus on this. We have to help our own employees understand that honoring their commitments is really the sole measure of their self-worth, and demonstrate that as owners and executives of companies, that we honor our commitments. And so that's the Squared Away tip of the day, and here's to being more squared away every day. Thank you.